Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Youth Man. In this video, we're going to be looking at two ultra short throw screens from EluneVision. Now, before we jump into the video, if you're into home theater, audio, and video, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that bell notification so that you'll be notified when the next video drops. All right, guys, we are here in my friend Derek's home, and over the past several weeks, we've been looking at two screens. We just got this EluneVision 100-inch Aurora screen installed just yesterday, and it looks absolutely fantastic. But we're going to be talking about what are the differences between this particular screen and the 110-inch EluneVision screen that we set up probably about 3 weeks ago, and that is their reference series screen. All right, the first thing let's talk about is setup. Now, initially when we first got these into the space here and we unboxed it, I really thought it would just take maybe an hour and a half to kind of get this put together and installed. Honestly, it took a lot longer than expected. Part of it is all of the springs that have to be put around the screen to attach the screen to the frame. The frame itself's pretty easy. You've got a bunch of little Allen set screws basically that you're going to be assembling. I've got a complete video on the 110-inch. If you haven't checked that out and you want to see what does that process look like, check out the video right up here in the card above as well as in the description below, and you can kind of see pretty much a walkthrough of how that is put together. Both of these screens pretty much put together about the same style. I mean, it's pretty much the same hardware, all the same components. The main difference between the 110-inch reference and the 100-inch Aurora screen is on the 110-inch, we had these plastic bars, and the plastic bars would fit through the screen. There's like kind of like a little tunnel that you would slide the bars into, and then the little springs would attach to that bar. But on the Aurora screen, the difference is all the way around the edges of the screen, you have little eyelets. And so the eyelets prevent the fabric from basically ripping. And on the 110-inch screen, the reference series, you don't have those eyelets. And that's why you have to attach the springs to those bars. All right, so while we're talking about the installation of both of these screens, a couple of things that we noticed and kind of ran across. One of the biggest challenges we found in installing both of these screens were the corners, getting those nice and tight. On the first screen that we didn't think much about it. We got it all together, thought everything was great, got it installed, and we noticed one of the corners had kind of like some ripples in it. Unfortunately, with this design, that means in order to kind of fix that and stretch that out and kind of massage that a little bit and adjust the springs, you're gonna have to kind of take it off the wall, lay it back down, remove some of that framing so that you can get to those screws. So it's gonna take some time. So my biggest encouragement is as you're building it, don't get in a hurry. I know you're gonna be kind of like probably tired and frustrated and you're like, man, I just wanna get this done. I wanna see it on the wall, and you're all excited, but take your time. Make sure that you've got those corners nice and tight before you even put on the outer trim, because once you get on the wall, it's just a lot more work to do that. And so in saying that, we still have two areas on this particular screen. There's a little bit of a ripple on the top right corner and a small ripple on the bottom right corner. And so again, we're gonna have to take this off, lay it back down, put up kind of like we'll put like a bed sheet or something to kind of protect that and keep it clean, because this is floor, like an area rug that, you know, we do walk on and Derek walks on every day. So we don't want to get dirt on the fabric itself. So we'll make sure that we'll put something down, but that's just going to be another process that we'll have to lay it down and go ahead and kind of redo that and tighten that up. And so I did reach out to EluneVision, and they gave me a couple of suggestions on how to get that tightened. And so if you're interested in that, you can shoot me an email, Michael@YouthmanReviews, and I can send that information over to you. All right, so now let's talk about some of the differences that we found in the two screens. Of course, the first difference is the size. The reference screen is 110-inch, and this particular screen that we have in for review is 100-inch. Now, both of these screens do actually come in various sizes, anywhere from 100-inch to 120-inch. We just happen to get these two in for review and to kind of see how they would compare visually on the same wall. Now, one of the things I think is really cool is on both of these screens, it's equipped with an LED backlit strip. And so these were really easy to install. EluneVision did a great job at making that part of it very, very easy. Honestly, that was probably the easiest part of the installation, because on the back of the LED strip, there's a Velcro strap or Velcro piece, and then on the frame itself is also Velcro. And so literally you unroll it, stretch it across, press it down, and just connect it at the end. And then they give you this slick little remote, nothing fancy, but as you can see here, we've got an on button, so that turns on the LED. There's a brightness control, so we can go either make it dim, or we can turn it all the way up. And then we've got various colors. So we've got anywhere from orange down to like your yellows, your greens and your blues, and then into like your purple colors and even kind of like a pink. And for whatever reason, they gave flash. I don't know why you would ever use that, but if you're having a party, maybe that looks cool to you. We've even got strobe in case you want like a seizure. Now there's also an option for a fade. So if I hit the fade button, you can see it'll slowly kind of go from one color to the next. Up here at the top, if you use the brightness controls, that's how you speed up that fade. So if I press it a couple times, you'll see it starts fading pretty fast, which of course that's ridiculous. But if you hit the dim button, that controls the speed of the fade. And so that's pretty slick. And then down at the bottom right, we've got smooth. And so if I hit that, you'll see it just gradually fades from one color to the next. Now the other thing that we found out kind of the hard way, inside both of these packages, you get these white gloves. And originally I thought, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. We got the white glove treatment, right? There's a reason why they give you the white gloves. You really can't touch this screen. The biggest thing that we're seeing in both of these screens is the oils that are present on your fingertips will actually kind of remain on the screen if you touch it. If we take a closer look at this screen, you'll see we've got 3 small dots. We don't remember touching them. You know, most of the time we had the gloves on, but there were times after we installed it, or maybe while we were installing it, we took the gloves off for whatever reason, and apparently we did touch the screen. The good thing is that this does come off. You just need to take some water. I wouldn't put any kind of chemicals on this, but just take some water and a damp cloth. You don't want to like totally soak it, but rub it really, really gently. You don't want to kind of ruin the fabric, and you don't want to kind of mess that up. And the reason why I say you don't want to mess it up is because this fabric is unlike any fabric I've ever experienced. My acoustic transparent theater screen at home in my theater room has more of a weave, and these 2 projection screens have more like ridges. So if we look down here, we've got the LG HU85LA ultra short throw projector. Now the way that these screens are set up to be used for is with an ultra short throw projector. Standard projectors, you're going to be shooting straight onto a screen. With a short throw or an ultra short throw, there's a big angle at which the light comes out of the projector and hits the screen. And so with this one being down here, you can see the light sources right here. So this laser projector will fire up at an angle, hit the screen, and then that needs to reflect back to you. So if you take a look at this screenshot, you can see the actual physical ridges. We just took a picture close up of this, and so you can see these little lines. These are the ridges on here, and when I had gloves on and I rubbed my hand across it, one way it was pretty smooth, and then if you rubbed it the other way, you could feel the gloves catching. And that's those ridges. So that's one thing to keep in mind when you're cleaning this with water. I would advise either cleaning it with the ridges, like this way, or basically you're gonna be coming down, not up. Because if you go up, you're gonna be pushing against those ridges, and there may be possibility of actually bending those, so you don't wanna damage the screen. All right, now let's talk about picture quality. Is there a difference between the reference series and the Aurora series? And the answer is yes. A couple of things that we all agreed when we were looking at this, we had myself, a friend of mine, Brad, as well as Derek, and we all agreed that this particular screen, the Aurora series, the colors tend to pop quite a bit more, and there's more contrast between like the black levels and the highlights, you know, the the bright skies versus the dark textures on it. One of the features that both of these screens have is ambient light rejection. Now, what makes ambient light rejection kind of ideal is if you're setting up a screen like this in, say, a living room like we have here. So in this living room, Derek has a really wide, there's probably 3 windows here that lets in quite a bit of light. And then on the other side of the room, we've got a lot of light that comes in from the kitchen area as well, where it has a double sliding glass door. And then also in the room itself, up here, we've got some overhead lighting. And so what's great about these screens is it does have some technology, the ambient light rejection in it, so that it kind of helps deflect that light coming from various sources other than what's coming from the actual light source down here, which is the ultra short throw projector. So one thing we did notice is with the Aurora series, with the lights on, with the curtains drawn, with the ambient light coming from basically all sides of this room, the Aurora series did have a more vibrant picture quality, contrast seemed to be better, and just did a better job at rejecting that light and having colors that popped a lot more on this particular screen. So now let's take a look at a side-by-side comparison of both of these screens in 2 different scenarios. One scenario, we have all the lights on in the room. We also have the curtains opened up and the curtains on this side opened up, so there's a lot of ambient light coming into the room. So we're going to compare those 2 screens. How does it look when all the lights are on and we've got a lot of ambient light? And then we'll compare these 2 screens side by side with the curtains closed and the lights turned off. So let's take a look. So now let's get down to the nuts and bolts. What do these projection screens cost? The 110-inch reference screen that we have in for review is $1,750 US. And the Aurora screen that we have installed behind me is $3,600 US. Now both of these screens come in different sizes, anywhere from 100-inch to 120-inch, and so I'll post links of them down below so you can kind of check those out to see if either one of these screens might be a good fit for your home theater. All right guys, hopefully this video has been helpful. A big thanks to EluneVision for sponsoring this video, and as always, you guys be blessed, and we'll catch you in the next video.